Hello and welcome to another episode of the Universes Academy podcast. I am your host, Matt Childress, and with me, as always, my co-host, my friend, Mr. Chris Smith. How you doing?
I'm good. I feel like we have like this Wayne's World, Wayne and Garth thing going on now, because like
Yeah.
Wayne was always go with me as always, my co-host Garth, and so like I feel like I mean that
He
Garth
found
isn't a
my
bad.
inspiration.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. No, I'm good. I'm great. All things are great. I'm going on vacation starting tomorrow. I'm dating
Oh,
the pod because it's like the
nice.
week before, after, you know.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
going on vacation. Going to be doing nothing but playing card games and relaxing and doing like whatever my wife wants me to do for like a day and a half.
Yeah, dude.
So yeah,
That's
and
pretty
then getting
sweet.
prepped for Nats. Getting
Yeah.
prepped for Nats.
Oh man, it's gonna be all Nets talk here in a minute. You know it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
dude. I am. I have great news to report. They just fixed the AC in my classroom today. So yes, it is no longer
Yay!
85 degrees in my classroom.
Especially when it's 110 here up here in Illinois
Oh
right
yeah, dude. It's
now.
been toasty. So that's exciting. Hopefully it lasts. I've been given no guarantees that it will, but here's to hoping.
Nice.
And
Crossing fingers.
yeah, man. But past that, getting to play little cards. Got to go and play in
Nice.
a store championship this past weekend.
Same.
Had the unfortunate situation of they started the event a little early, so like it was posted that registration was from noon to 1, and apparently they did from like noon to like 12:30 or so, and I
Oh,
arrived at
that's good.
12:45. So
Grr.
yeah, I had to take a round one loss, but at least I got to play. And
Oh, that's right. You had your kiddo with you too. How'd that go?
yeah. So my stepmom actually came out to the
Oh,
house and
cool.
hung out with him because
Awesome.
they hadn't got to really catch up and visit. So yeah, it was really good. But
Sweet.
but he
Awesome.
but my other plan was exactly like you're describing, to
Yeah.
bring him with me, play around, and then leave or whatever. Which
Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah, it was good, man. I ended up playing Mirio because I was like, you know what, I want to test it out. Haven't gotten to do it yet.
Yeah.
And
Fair.
then I kid
Fair.
you not, just like the last provisional store championship that I played in, where I played All Might 3.
Mm-hmm.
I played against 3 Shigaraki 3s, right? This
Yeah.
time I played against 2 Amajiki 1s.
That's
So I
funny.
won both rounds.
Nice.
So I've learned
Nice.
Mirio can beat Amajiki. I
Yeah,
didn't
you
learn much
can.
else yet. But that's okay.
Yep.
They're great games. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
fun. The first matchup literally went like the Amajiki had like 9 momentum. Tons of face-up stuff, just doing all sorts of stuff, and I was like, "This character is so cool!" Like, I almost
Mm-hmm.
just went and made a list for him immediately
Yep.
because I was like, "This character's
Yep.
just cool." But how did yours go?
Yeah. You do. It was 17 people's, and
Nice.
I got top 4, losing to the eventual champion because Broken Psyche has a second ability other than resetting damage to 2. Did you know this?
Yeah, you can get a 6 check card.
Yeah, I play Bonds of Friendship, and what Bullet Punch have? It's a high attack, so I could have
Yeah.
gotten that last high block and at least attempted to block the echoed last ditch attack he had that he played
Oh,
in game
awkward.
3. So it was awkward, but yeah, by hindsight, it was a good time. It was great. I fought. I got over the hump. I finally beat a Sato when it mattered, so
Okay,
that's
now.
good.
Yeah.
Keeping Aerie safe means stun 1 doesn't mean anything anymore. So
Right.
it was great.
Yeah, can we talk about that
I
for a
got
second? Like, I
yeah.
know that like stun is still very real, right? Especially off the
It's
good
very
season.
real. In
But
bunches, it's real, but
yeah,
little one-ups,
but
it don't
man,
matter
like
anymore.
I think
Yeah.
between keeping Erie safe, it can't be fixed, and just the
Uh,
handful of other things you have that
oh, the
the
assistance card with Mirio and
Miriam
Deku
Midoriya
on
on
it.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Midoriya. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That
yeah.
card's like
Heroic
cool. You
assistance or
have to
whatever.
you have to deal with this before you deal with the rest of
Yeah,
my stun hate. So
like
good.
I don't know, like I feel like with those 3 cards alone, and there's some others
Hmm.
as well that are good anti-stun pieces, but like those 3 all sharing good, like
Oh boy,
you're just
yes.
not stunning a good deck, and good's like I'm gonna stun
Hmm.
you out though. So like I
Hmm.
feel like the good versus good matchup, you just sit there and you're like, well, my game plan
You
doesn't
just
work.
stare at each
Neither
other.
does my game
Yeah.
plan. Like,
And that's why we play a character who can give stats to everything, you
right,
know.
right, right.
So, but
Or
no,
change
it was
zones. I
fun.
don't know.
It was really or change zones. Yes, change zones is just fair. I did beat a Mirio round 1. I
Ooh.
2-0'd him very fast.
Mm.
It was great because I was like, cool, build 6 going first. Drew 5 attacks, pop, 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 and then pop, 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 and it was like, cool, we game over, I
See,
win.
And,
Yeah.
and like I haven't gotten to play that matchup, but I think theory crafting wise, I would think Mirio would not have as hard a time with him because Mirio, if you can get the momentum right, you just keep a
Yeah.
momentum. Now you got to deal around capture evildoers, other things like that. But like if you can set up the situation where you keep the momentum, like you just kind of sit back, you play your hand out down to like 1, maybe 2, and then you're like, all right, I might have 4 attacks before you're gonna hit me.
You know what's funny?
What's that?
He did that.
Yeah.
He did that. You want to know what else is funny?
You-
I drew capture evildoers and I killed him.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
right.
that was
That's
great.
what I'm saying. Like
Yeah,
you gotta be ready
You
for
gotta-
that. Oh, dude, capture evildoers. There was one game when I was playing against the Zamajikis where I played 2 capture evildoers over the first 2 turns, and I was like, I'm a bad person. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
because they
No,
just
you're not.
they got a momentum.
No,
they're
yep.
like 0 grav lift. I'm like,
Nope. That's what happened against the Sato deck. I was like, oh, cool. You have a jolt? Give me.
yeah.
Give
you
me.
thought you had a
Give
jolt.
me. You thought you had a jolt. Yeah, and then round 3, I fought the Rappa that ended up winning it all. So my only losses were to the Rappa deck that won it all.
Okay.
It was a 50-card Rappa deck. It was, I don't know if it was net decked from Gen Con, but it was, it just played anything on fire that drew a card. That's all its foundations did. It just drew a card. It just cycled its hand until it got everything it needed. And, you know, it plays Blue Flame Palm Strike, so it was like, oh, my favorite card from set 3.
Yeah.
Oh, so cool. So yeah, so I couldn't be mad because it's so cool. It's cool watching that character pop off, but it's not that cool when it's like it consistently happens every game, but whatever. And then
I do think
round
it's safe
4,
to say that fire is his best symbol at this point, right?
yeah,
Like-
I would say that. I also think he's like the new Tokiyami of the format. Like,
Sure.
like Bird's still good. Don't get me wrong, but
He's gonna
there's
pass all his
something-
checks if he wants to pass all his checks.
yeah. If he
Just like
wants to
Bird.
play 6 attacks, he's gonna play 6 attacks. It's just
Right.
the only way that's gonna stop him is if he checks a 2 on the last one, and then he can't pass it.
Sure.
You know. The character's very cool, very neat. Probably why he's one of my favorites in the set because you know we previewed him. Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop.
And then I beat in Eraserhead. No, round 3 was the Eraserhead. It was my buddy Ryan who needed his invite, and I go, okay. He's like, why can't we just play final round so we can just ID? I was like, dude, if I beat you, we ID, so you can keep you know you can get into top cuts on your own accord.
Yeah.
And so I beat him, and I
Sure.
kept my word.
Yeah.
We ID'd, and then it was round 4, and that's when I lost to the Rappa deck, and then
Okay.
I was 3-1. I was 2-1-1 going into top cuts. No,
Okay.
3-1-1 going into top cuts. So.
Nice.
But yeah, top 4 was fun. It was a good time. I actually end up playing Ryan in top 8, and he's like, and I beat him, and he goes, "Dude, I don't care. I got my invite." I'm like, "See, that's the attitude you need to have.
Right.
Got to get that, you know." And then fell short, but I ended up it was a father and son duo that took down our PSC.
That's cool.
So I was like, "Hey, do you need that second bubble girl?" And he's like, "No." So I handed him my top 4 prizing. I was like, "Here, for your bubble girl," and he's like, "Okay." And it was just like, yeah, I just traded him all my promos because we had so much extra plus ultra packs added in. We added like 2 from every set and
wow.
a bunch of victories. So yeah, so I just handed him a bunch of stuff, and I was like, here, I just want that for the binder, just because
Yeah.
I know I collect, you know, I'm a collector. So yeah, it's a fun time,
That's
super
cool.
good. We have one more left in September, and it's after the pre-registration deadline. So sorry for anyone who gets their invite at that one. You know,
Yeah, awkward.
awkward. You know,
well, I think
but
that's. I think
yeah.
our next one, back home.
Mm-hmm.
I guess where I'm from. I don't know if that's home anymore. I technically live here now, but anyway.
Yeah, where you're from. Yeah,
where I'm
you're
from.
from,
Like,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
their next one is then I think it's afterwards or it's right around that cutoff date. So
Yeah, it's kind of
well,
weird.
that's a pretty good segue into all the crazy Nats info, right?
Yeah.
So we covered in our last episode, you know, all the promos and stuff, and then they've confirmed now that the emails have gone out, the codes are sent. I've already registered and paid and all. You already got yours done, right?
No, I haven't registered. I got my code. I haven't registered yet because
I was like day one, I'm
lazy.
taking care of it.
Yeah.
I want to be on the
I
first.
want my heart in abs.
Yeah, I want my
man.
heart in
I want-
abs, man. I just
Abs,
want that
bro.
to happen. But yeah. So
Before we go any further,
Okay.
I want to shout out Tim Keefe, our friend of the podcast. His channel, Satonis. He actually goes into breakdown how many promos are likely to be in the system after all the Nats are done.
Right.
So if you're wondering what your cards are worth or what promos you want to go fishing for, watch Tim's video, and then he'll tell you. He'll give you like a breakdown.
I feel
So,
like
yeah.
in general, it's probably going to be a lot outside of like those top 16 and above ones.
it's really funny. Harden jab is probably 1 per entrant on average.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no, like no, that
Yeah.
one's gonna be tough to find.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm saying like as
Yeah.
far as like the non-pre-registration ones, right?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So like Minetas and Ojiras, like those will probably be
Yeah,
tough.
he didn't go after the characters just
Hmm.
because you only need one of them really.
Right.
But the like he was telling like back alley 2 per entrant on average because you only have so many events you could technically play in,
Sure.
and yada yada yada. So it was a really good breakdown. So
Oh,
I
that's
watched
cool.
this morning.
I think I
Or
made it up
over
to that point in the video, and I was
yeah,
at work watching it during my lunch, and I ran out of time. So,
there, yeah.
but yeah, so like Nats is right around the corner. They have
Mm,
confirmed officially now that it is a set 5 meta.
yeah,
Set
of course.
6 has an official release date in November. We'll talk about that here in just a
Mhm.
minute. If you have not seen it or heard it, that's news from today. And yeah,
Maybe yesterday
maybe a
too.
little bit yesterday.
Maybe a little yesterday for
If you,
those who caught that leak.
yeah, there might have been a website that posted an article a little too early, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. We'll talk about it and show it to you here in a minute.
Mhm.
But yeah, so dude, I'm just super hyped for Nats. I'm not gonna lie, like,
Yeah, man.
it is.
Now that I can go, I'm super hyped.
Yeah, like, well,
Oh,
like I'm just glad because we know the meta, right? Like we know
yeah.
these
Hmm.
season 2 promos are gonna be eligible to be played in
Legal.
it.
Yep.
Yeah, and then that's it though. So like you can
Yeah.
start testing decks now
Hmm.
and really try to figure out, hey, what does this meta look like? Because right now we have a clear idea after the UK results, which we can go ahead and talk about as well, of like,
Yeah.
hey, this is probably the upper tier of characters right now, right? This
Sure.
is the upper
Yeah.
tier of symbols right now. Most likely, like there's probably some decks that haven't been
Not
looked
much.
at, but
Yeah, I don't think much will change after that. Like you'll have your middle tier stuff that if someone really puts the work in, that they can
right.
elevate it. But more often, your goods, your lives, your earths,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Well, so glad you mentioned that. So on our
Ooh.
site, Universes Academy,
Yeah.
we actually track all of this data for you, right? So now this is just top 8. I don't record top 16. That's way too much for
Yeah.
me. I'm only one man. But characters in their top 8 representation. So you can see there's this one. If you guys can't read it, there's this one that's way higher than the others, and that's Jiro. Jiro has the most top 8s currently. I feel like this name has probably
And
always
that
been
is
true.
and that is just this season, or is
Correct.
this
So
a
this
lifetime
data
of the
is
game?
this data
Okay.
is curated from it's basically since set 4 in the season started through now.
Okay.
So it is not from before
Last year.
yeah. Yeah, because like for example, she only has 9, and then like the next closest is you got a bunch of characters who had 6. Like Nomu has 6, Ojiro 2 had 6, Overhaul has 6.
Mm.
So like that's crazy how quickly he's gotten up there, and then even further, like Mirio
Yeah.
has 5. So
Yeah,
like,
not too far behind. Yeah.
right. So like there's some clear things that you can kind of pull from this. It's not definitive, right? But like
Yeah.
if for example, if your deck doesn't go 50-50 with Jiro, probably not a good chance to make it a top cut.
Yeah, but the thing is, too, you may not even face a Giro the entire weekend, too. So
Sure.
that's another like grenade into the salvo. It's like, well, I have the best Eraserhead 1 matchup. Well, you
Yeah.
may not fight one, and you may fight your worst matchups all day,
Right.
Because your deck is solidly tuned for one character,
Right.
You know.
So I think what you do, and I don't know how everyone else prepares and all, but like when I say if it doesn't go 50-50 with Jiro, like basically like that's the bar. Like if you have to be able to get over this bar, and because she can play a lot of different ways, and further like aggro wise, she's one of the best aggro characters and most consistent ones. So like if your deck can survive against a Jiro deck pushing in on a turn, then you're probably going to be in a good defensive spot, right? Against any other aggro deck as well, you'll be okay.
Sure.
And I think you can kind of say the same for different decks and their performance as well. And it's just really interesting to me though that she's just consistently doing it, and she's been around a
I
long
think
time.
what blows my mind is Nomu.
Yeah,
Still,
I know.
Oh man, I know we've shit on Nomu so much in this
Yeah,
podcast.
Nomu's
myself
trash.
dude, he's trash, bro. But it's just like the one. Okay, so we're kind of talking about the UK results. I was watching day 2. I don't really watch day 1 a lot for
Sure.
RLE on because it's too long. It's a mishmash. I mean,
Right.
I want to see the cream of the crop.
Right. You want to watch
I watch
big,
the good
big
stuff.
games,
So, first thing, my buddy Grant Padley, he Swiss champed, good run, but man, that Nomu deck drew like fire, man. Boom, boom, boom. Hardened. He's like the dude needed a hardened blitz off the top of the deck. He was like, it's like the UVS gods came down and it's like, my son, you asked, you may receive. Ripped a hardened blitz, slammed that thing down, just nuked my friend Grant Padley into the sky.
Yeah.
And I shit on that card. I shit on that card so much, and I'm like,
yeah, that card's pretty good.
Real. That card's pretty good. I messaged Church and I'm like, hey Church, this card's not a meme card. And he goes, hey, you know what? Playtest and design thought that card was super good. I'm just like,
I believe it.
I'm not a bright man, but I'll listen to my elders. So but yeah, like that was even though it came at the cost of one of my buddies, my good friend Grant. That was some hype stuff. And I guess they're really good friends and brothers, so they were, I guess, joking about it the entire time he was telling me, because I was chit chatting with him on Messenger, and he was like, yeah, we were just having a riot when that was happening. I was like, holy crap, I couldn't do anything. It's like this Nomu deck just drew 5 attacks and then drew a 6th. It's just like, well, I guess I die,
Game over.
He's still the great equalizer. Double damage on stuff is still huge.
Yeah, I've been in that situation where I lost to someone because they blind drew the final attack they needed to win the game before. It happens to you eventually. It's all good,
Yeah.
So symbol representation in top 8.
Cool. Yeah.
You want to take a guess? I know you haven't looked at the data recently.
I don't. Newsflash: I don't look at data.
What?
Nah. I just go with my gut.
Plays by feel, he says. All right, so
yeah. So I'm gonna say Earth is 1, Good is 2nd, Life is 3rd.
You would be correct. Yeah.
So I don't need no website.
Earth is 6. It has 15. Good has 14, and then Life has 9.
Okay. That's gonna jump.
And then Order's right behind it, and then
cool.
The only symbol that has not made a top 8 yet was Fire. It's made top 16s, has not made.
Oh yeah, you were correct.
Bounced each time in top 16.
Yeah.
So it's not that Fire is bad by any means, and I think the fact that every symbol has made a top cut at some point in time during the season is pretty good indicator that meta is pretty healthy.
Unlike last season, where last year where there was 5 or 6 symbols, I don't think that ever topped the entire year.
I think there were at least 3, at least
3 that didn't top the entire year.
Yeah. And then the hand size representation stuff just hasn't changed. It's 6 hand size dominated meta always, and then it's normally 5 handers, and then it's 7 handers. Yeah. And I feel I
have a theory on that before you go any further.
Yeah.
I think the extra card going second as a 6-hander makes the hell of a difference. Being a 7 hand size 30 or a 7 hand size to build that extra foundation going second, you're able to aggress a lot easier and actually play a little more riskier because you have a higher health total behind you,
and you get that partial
7-hander.
Partial
and you get
helps you craft really well. I think also the other thing is, I think from a design standpoint, so if you wanted to rewind it, back in the day, 7-handers dominated because abilities were pretty level across all of them, and you had outliers that were just total trash, but the good characters with good abilities were pretty level across the board. It wasn't until later Jazzco era, and now continued into UVS Games era, where it seems like they've kind of shifted towards hey, our 5-handers play like a 6-hander. Even though they're 5-hander, they have some way of playing like a 6-hander. Our 6-handers, even though they're 6-hander, play some way like a 7-hander would. And the 7-handers do not play like 8-handers though. 7-handers just play like 7-handers. And that's kind of
weird.
Yeah, it's kind of the hurdle they have to get over, right? Is
it's kind of weird.
Yeah. So you need the individual card value of the cards then that you're playing in the deck, that extra when you're getting siege turn, to be high enough to overcome their character ability that they get to have all the time and the same amount of cards as you. And I think that's kind of the design space that it's in right now, and that's why we've seen this consistently throughout MHA. I also
think a lot of the fact that we have so much free card draw in the game, playing a 6-hander isn't as bad as it used to be. Sure. In the older game, because I can slap cards in there to say just draw a card, commit, draw a card, commit or flip, draw a card, discard. I can get quality instead of having to hope to bank into cards. I think
it's totally different. There's an interesting space where maybe card draw ability should only be on like attacks, right? Things where you're having to risk something and open yourself up to get that advantage, as opposed to just, don't get me wrong, like
Yeah.
having them on enhances on foundations is kind of similar anyway, but
Yeah.
they're reusable then, right? So like that's what this overhaul deck that's been dominating, which is what won the UK RLE, by the way, was Life Overhaul,
Yeah.
beat out a good Mirio, and they were good games, but like
Fantastic match. That
Yeah.
first, before you go any further, that first match, the overhaul deck had to count his his deck total so many times because he built out to like 30 foundations, and I was like, oh, I just remember the days. People hearken to these days of yore where we would just play to 30 foundations each, play one attack, and then just start canceling each other's abilities, and whoever had the most cancels would win. It wasn't that at all. It was him trying to sculpt the perfect hand, and all of his repeateds were in his discard pile, so he had to cycle, which he ended up having to cycle. Top first 3 cards were all of his repeated smash. So why is repeated smash $100 if you don't need it to win? So that's the real question we need to know.
well, that's because people are trying to price gouge right now.
Yeah, I know. I understand that. Yes, I
But
know.
yeah, like I mean, so there. I do not miss block 2. It can go die in a fire.
Oh, I know. I'm just being
but
facetious, man.
but I do. I know. But I do think that the deadlock abilities currently in the game should be a good enough deterrent. But you gotta be playing them. You know.
Yeah. And unfortunately, she wasn't playing that many of them. She had pull no punches in her deck, and
when they got 30 foundations, that ain't gonna get you where you
that
want to be.
alone don't matter. What you need is some determined. You need some, plummeting punch. You need some.
Yeah,
some
Plummeting
really
Punch
cool
is a nasty
stuff.
deadlock.
Yeah,
I got to do that this weekend one time.
Yeah. Ooh, sick.
Yeah. Also, heroic assistance. You just look at their hand,
And
change the zone. Okay, cool. What you got? I mean, they can draw. Sure, they can manipulate the hand later, but it's pretty good too. But yes, in that deck in particular. But yeah, I think that like I said, I'm glad to see new characters topping. I also am not of the opinion that I think they are categorically like out of an acceptable power range. Like I think they're just strong characters, right? Like like set 5 has these characters that are actually on the same power level as like set 1. And that's good because for so long people complained all we ever see is set 1 characters. Well, hey, guess what? You're largely seeing set 5.
We're really going to see set 5 characters
Right.
now. You know how people are going to complain about it no matter what. You know that.
It's not Bebop. Like legitimately, when Bebop came out, like I tracked the results in the data back then. Literally, 80% of the top cuts at every event, if not more, were Bebop characters, and it was one set.
I want to say the worlds for that. Every one of the characters from that set top.
Yeah. So like we're not in that kind of power creep kind of
we're
situation.
not.
This is just more like a equivalent lateral movement is how I would describe it.
Which is perfectly good.
Yeah,
Just perfect.
that's where you want it. Hopefully, set 6, another lateral movement, and we have some characters that are on par who can, again, put out some numbers and bring some different strategies to the game. That are competitive. So yeah, dude. Shout outs to everyone at the UK RLE. They had a great turnout. The event went well. I got to watch some of the coverage. I didn't get to watch all of it. But yeah, it was great. And I'm glad to see things still shaking up, random decks making it, like we're talking about like the Rappas and other things like that, still making top cuts and showing up. So
a Hardened Blitz Nomu deck. No one had that on their bingo card, So it's like that's sick.
Most importantly, I am now dead in the middle of the UK guys draft that we did with them.
The draft,
so I'm feeling good about that. Feeling good.
Oh, nice.
So someone got Midoriya in there. Someone got Midoriya in there for me, so I appreciate it.
I am second to last, so the dream is dead.
I'm only like one above you, man. It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. It's just for fun anyways.
Right.
It's not like for anything special. So yeah.
But then so meta seems pretty healthy overall.
I agree.
It's also now, like we said, established. That's going to be the meta for Nats. So that seems great. Let's have some fun, guys. Get ready, bring your best decks, and let's throw fisticuffs. You know what I'm saying? Like let's do it.
I would definitely say like if you're looking to seriously top 32 into 16 because nothing matters but top 16 at Nats, right? That's the only number that
HLC.
matters.
HLC. Right. That's why I'm saying that. Yeah.
And we still don't know what the HLC pricing is.
Nothing about the HLC.
We know nothing. So, but that being said, with what Jasco likes to do, or sorry, UVS Games has done this year is we'll have an event, and as we get closer, we will finally So I expect us to know what HLC is by Nats. We will know by
Yeah,
Nats.
seems fair.
So you're going to want to bring your best deck. If you want to go to the HLC, you don't bring, well, I'm going to bring this fun deck.
Mm-hmm.
I'll top 32 with it, or I'll do my best with my fun deck. No, I'm sorry. Like, you got to bring your best. And I'm not saying you need to go spend $400 on repeated smashes.
Right.
You need to bring what is best for you, how it feels, because that's a big thing. Like Matt said, I'm a giant. Like, I'm no good with math.
Mm.
Everybody knows this. I'm a feels player. Like, it's got to feel good. Like, I have to get the cards in my hand, the way the deck plays, the way the deck defends. It has to feel right, and it just happens. Sometimes you just don't mesh with a deck. Like, I've played Life Overhaul since set 5 dropped a few times, and I've played Andrew's list, and I've borrowed Andrew's list and made some changes, and we've talked back and forth. And sure, the deck runs well, but it just doesn't feel like I can run it to its maximum potential. But if I put the work in, I probably could. But then when I swap back to All Might 3,
Well,
it's like putting on a pair of socks. Like,
right. Well,
for like
and there's something
billionth
to be
time,
said for
you know?
how long of a day that's going to be, right? Like you're looking at probably playing what, like I think we're talking about like 9 rounds of Swiss probably.
Yeah,
And
the event page says 10 because that's the max amount of rounds they can run in Swiss. That
Okay.
means if we hit like, I think it's if we hit like 700 players or
Okay.
something like that.
So what I'm getting at is like you have to have the brain capacity and the mental fortitude to play a deck
Wherewithal.
that has all these moving pieces all day. Because that's the thing about Overhaul. Overhaul has a lot of moving pieces because he plays a lot like K1 did, where you're storing things away, you're picking them up later. This turn you have to deal with this, next turn you have to deal with that, and you're kind of playing individual turns as separate games, and you're just trying to figure out how to navigate that turn, as opposed to like this is just the one thing my deck does. Like if you're playing like a rapid deck, like I'm just gonna punch you and I'm gonna keep punching you, and if I don't punch you enough, then I guess I'd lose.
Yeah, yep, you were right.
Yeah. So like with that being said, like it's me with Eraserhead 1. Like I love that character, and I've tried so every set to build it, and now it's a very good deck. And previously at one point in time, in like set 1, set 2 meta, it was a very good deck. And when I play it, that deck just hates me. Like I literally went like I net decked Corey's deck at one point in time, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna change a few things out here, keep the same ratios, we'll be good. And I played the deck and I just like packed it up to everything. I was like, okay, I just don't know what to do here.
The universe doesn't want you to play him. I'm sorry. Until you now it's going to be like you can play him with that sick ass promo, and then you're going to start winning.
Right? Yeah. Maybe
that's what's going to happen.
So, but yeah, so I don't know, man. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna play. I got a few things that I'm working through, about 5 different decks I want to try to slowly work my way through and eliminate and see what feels like, to your point, what feels the best and also what I enjoy the most. Like
exactly.
Like there's a couple of decks on my list that I'm like, I think this deck's probably good enough to make like a top cut, and I might be good enough to play it long enough, and get enough reps with it. But do I enjoy playing it? Like when I played the Railgun Osui deck at Gen Con last year, it was a lot of fun to play. So I enjoyed playing it, and I was like, I'm a crappy person. I shouldn't do this because this deck shouldn't exist. And that's the reason I played it. But it was still a fun deck to play. So like part of me wants to like explore something like that again. If I can find a deck that kind of harkens back to that, and something I enjoy.
Well, I mean, like there is Charge Shieldbreaker Rappa. It's kind of like, it is a rail gun. It's just like, ow, wow,
boom,
boom,
so, boom.
I mean, like that being said, like I think like, if you're a player who just wants to play for promos, you're going to want to play the entire day, right? Because 128 is the cutoff for extra promos. So, like, there's going to be side events running. People are going to drop after their O3 or their O3 drops, or whatever. I mean, like, me, I'm spending the money. I'm going to play the entire thing. Unless I'm like 0 for 7, which... Geez, if I'm 0 for 7, we got a problem. We got a bigger problem than just me being bad. So,
time to hang it up.
But time to hang it up.
Hang it up.
Nah, but no, like 128 gets you extra, or 120. I think it's 128 gets you extra promos. So, I mean, like I think you break even. You're 128 depending on how many people drop. Like last year's Nats had like 3 something. Yeah. So it's like a top third roughly.
Yeah.
You could squeak out top third, maybe like
if
a little
you win
over.
More than you lose.
If
you have one more win than you do losses, you're probably fine.
Yeah. you're probably fine. And then then 64, then 30, like 32, like top 16, getting to 32. I guess I would say top 32 is the first number you want to get to,
Sure.
and then you got to win one,
Yeah.
and then you're in, which
Yeah.
is better than Gen Con, which was better than last year's Nats, which was 32, 16, and then you have to get to top 8 to get into the HLC. So.
Yeah.
Because they had the whole points thing. So then they got rid of the points thing. So it's top 16 only. So it's going to be cutthroat, but it's going to be fun because these types of events are a blast.
Right.
And we got teams on Sunday, Matt. We have
do.
teams on Sunday.
We do. We gotta get the crew together.
Well, I mean, we're going to top 32 first.
Yeah, I mean, if we're not playing in Grand Championships,
we're not
Grand
playing,
Finals,
yeah,
we talked about this last episode,
yes,
guys.
Yes,
Yeah,
we're in Grand Finals. We're gonna,
it's
what's
already
gonna happen.
decided, obviously.
Already decided. Don't show up. Me and Matt
UVS
are
Games send us our congratulation letters already.
Yes,
We've taken photos. It's no
Yes,
takesy backsies.
Please. Nah, but like it's gonna be exciting, and I don't know, like I think like people's play, they put the work in. Their play rises at these events. Like this is where like the great players show why they're great players. Like
Absolutely,
the Brobergs, the Bromleys, the Holders, all those people.
You bring your A game, and like everyone does. And like the thing is, you can bring your A game, and like you said, without being like cutthroat or being a jerk. Like So yeah, look, man, I look forward to playing everybody when we get there. You know what else I'm really looking forward to, Chris?
Hi.
The set 6.
Set
6. So, Comic Book Reader kind of dropped a bombshell yesterday morning.
Thank you, CPR, for not knowing when you should drop articles.
Yeah.
Shout out to my secret information sender. That is someone in the community at 5 o'clock in the morning said, "Hey, have you seen this?" And I'm like, "Ooh."
Yeah. So they dropped an article, an exclusive apparently, about set 6, about Jetburn, and in it we got a confirmed date of November 17th is when the set is coming out.
Pre-release is the week
10th.
before.
Yep, on November 10th. And then it kind of goes on to talk about just the set in general. You got Hawks, you got Hood, you got Endeavor. Keeps on going.
I think there was one other character confirmed too.
Well,
no, that was in a Twitter. I think that was in a Twitter post, right?
Yeah, they confirmed the Uraraka and Toga starters.
And in that article, but I think Mount Lady was confirmed in a Twitter post. Yeah. I think.
Well, today. So and then it kind of goes in. It just talks about the set in general, and and then today UVS Games went and they started posting stuff as well. And
we got some images today.
We got some card images today, which also was the soft confirm of what the infinity symbol looks like, because the new asset has that on there. Because I was like, why has it only got one symbol? And then I zoomed in, and look, man, I need to see these cards in person, because
I know
the Gen Con promos. I'm hoping it's better than the Gen Con promos, both in quality and in just in general. Because the Gen Con promos are cool, pun intended, but the symbols are real small, man, and like it's,
I honestly
it's gonna take a minute.
Yeah, I mean, yes, they are drastically smaller.
Like,
I think they could have been
if they were the same symbols, or if they want. I think if they had changed the symbols, but they left them as large as they were before, or even slightly smaller than before, but still more pronounced, I'd be okay with it, because then your brain can start to transition it. But like the fact that you moved them and you changed what they look like I literally was looking at the cards today that got previewed, and I was like, I don't even know who can play this card.
Can we see them?
A little bit. Yeah, they're tiny.
Sorry, it's like they're very tiny. Look, they're tiny.
Like literally, just look at your card currently, and you see the set icon. They're that big. Yeah.
It's. I mean, I think there's some room to grow. They can always make them bigger.
Sure.
Like their game, they can do whatever they want.
Right. But that being said, after the information that got dropped today, which was again confirming, like I said, Mount Lady's apparently in the set, and then the starter decks, they also dropped some new swag on their official UVS Games products page. Which
products page, baby. Matt found this. What? What a detective. What a detective.
So you have this super awesome new Midoriya playmat which
I'm
looks
wondering if that confirms that he has a character in the set, or if that's an attack. It looks like it's an
it
attack,
could
like
be
it's
an
attack
attack.
art.
Yeah, I
It
could
looks
see
like an
that being an
attack
attack.
art, but it would be a really cool looking character card.
That would
Not
be a
gonna
cool looking
lie,
character card. I agree.
it'd be very cool.
And then they also showed the Uraraka and the Toga Clash decks,
Yep,
which are super
very
cool.
peeps. They're peeps colors.
They are Peeps colors, the hot pink and the
Yep,
yellow. Yeah.
yep,
Um,
they're peeps colors.
and then they also have the booster box, and they
The art's
have
cool. Yep.
the Toga and Uraraka play mats, which also both look
Okay,
cool.
so I think this is I'm gonna kick a guess.
Hmm.
The toga is an
Okay.
attack art, because she's kind of rushing forward, and I'm gonna say that has to be a foundation, right? Like,
For
because the
Uraraka.
foundation for Uraraka, because the foundations traditionally have like actual artwork
Uh-huh.
for their backgrounds, and a lot of the attacks are taken from like the mobile games where it's just like a green screen behind a cardboard cutout, and they change
Sure.
like the background, you know.
Yeah. I.
But that could be way off. So
So I kind of looking at them more like I like all the playmats. They look very good. I kind of wish the My Hero Academia symbol on the Uraraka one was like up in the corner, so it looks like she's looking at it. You know? 'Cause,
oh
like
yeah,
on the Toga one, it kind
yeah.
of looks like she's like reaching towards it, and on the Midoriya
Hmm.
one, it kind of balances out like he's on the exclusively
He's
on
on
the
one
right
side.
side, and it's on the
Hmm.
other, and it's got the shatter kind of looking thing. But that's
Yeah,
just a random art thing, right? But there's a cloud right there, so I'm sure that's why they didn't put it there. But yeah, those look
yeah,
super
most
cool.
likely, yeah.
And then of course they have all their other old product, and by old I mean stuff that's already out. But yeah, so that's some set six stuff, man. But the
They
main
have. Oh wait, they have box art for every side of the box. Let's see here. Do we see anything cool? No, it just says jet burn on the side. Lame. There's no, because like in
Toga three.
because all other sets they have other characters on the sides of the boxes.
Yeah,
So I was wondering if we can
I
get any soft
I
confirms. You
do
know.
really like the orange banner. I'm not gonna lie. Like of all
Same.
the visual changes they've made, I really like the orange
Same.
banner. And it's not just because I'm a
Same.
Clemson fan. Like legit, I think it pops really well, and I
Yeah.
think it makes it stand out on the shelf, and I think it's gonna be good.
I was trying to see if there's anything like when I click on the things, if it like states anything, but it doesn't.
No, just says this
It does
playmat featuring
not.
Izuku Midoriya.
Well, I was looking to see if there's anything on the back. They don't have the back shots of this of the Clash deck, so you don't get to see any cards. Because sometimes on the backs the cards are there,
Yeah,
so it's whatever. But
yeah,
yeah, like I don't know, like it's super exciting. Like
right.
it's super super duper exciting. Like we already knew like Hawks, Hood, and Endeavor were going to be in the set. So now
Right.
like we get just adds more flavor to it, which is kind of surprising because I don't think Uraraka and Toga would have been like everyone,
Yeah,
you know,
like I don't
wouldn't
think
have been
from a
the
story
Clash.
standpoint they're like super involved in that arc, but
Well,
it's
I
really
mean, like I
cool.
think they have like a moment, right? Like, don't they have like a moment, or are they pulling this? Are they during that? Like, because it's also maybe during. I don't know. It's kind of weird that
Yeah,
I don't know. Do they
I
have
don't
like a moment
I
in
don't think
that
they
in
do.
that
Like
arc at all?
not with the hood stuff. Now, granted, the hood stuff's like a
Yeah.
really short stint, so like maybe
Hmm.
it's dabbling into that like the beginning of the Liberation Force or whatever it is.
Oh,
Like
maybe it could
maybe
be.
it's
It
dabbling
could
into
be.
that or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Midoriya has the shoot style, not the shoot style gloves, the flick air compressed
The
glove things or
glove.
whatever.
Yeah.
So
Uh huh.
I do think that it's probably safe to assume that if he has a play mat, either like you said, that's either like an ultra rare attack or a character. It's got to be right. Like,
Yeah,
um,
it's safe. Yeah, they wouldn't waste that art on some. They wouldn't waste that
yeah,
art on different playmat, right? Like
right.
traditionally, I think all their playmats have been card art.
I think
Let's
so.
see.
Most of
I'm
them, if
taking
not
a look.
all.
I think so. I'm going through all of it right now, so
Yeah.
you know.
Right. Right.
But for the most part, yeah, I would assume so. So
But
yeah,
yeah,
it's
like
pretty cool.
I'm looking forward to set six because all right, so you want the Matt hot take? We'll share it with you. And I mentioned in our Discord the other day. I think the Nats specialty event or whatever that's like the
Oh, you
draft
think
or the sealed specialty
you think
set
it's a set
six.
six
Yep,
set six thing?
100% at Nats. I would not be surprised at
Is
all.
that's on Saturday,
I
right?
think
That's
it's
during
during
the
the
main
main
event.
event. Yeah,
Oh my God! You know how many people are just gonna drop from Nats to get set six product if they
maybe,
do it?
maybe, but like
Maybe.
it wouldn't surprise me if that's the case because like why wouldn't you, right? Like at that point, it's
Yeah,
only
it's like
like
it's like
two and a
it's like
half,
having
3 weeks early from the pre-release.
yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if top cutting gets you set six packs,
Dude,
and they
that'd
just
be
have Undaunted
insane.
and they just have Undaunted raid there just to like
I don't know if
We're
I'm going that
probably
far, but that'd be sick.
yeah. I mean, like they could, it
They
could,
could,
like
I guess.
I mean, like
I
they
think the
they
thing is
probably wouldn't.
you charge people, right? Like you charge them for a
Yeah,
sealed event, you give a certain amount of it
yeah,
out, you know it's in the wild,
yeah,
and then you get that little
yeah.
extra cash for it, you know?
Yeah, like I think, yeah, there's no way they're giving. They wouldn't give out a case of set six for like
Mm-mm.
first place, but they would give like maybe like a case of set five, and here's a few packs of set six, like depending on where you finish, or whatever,
Could be.
just so they know what's out in the wild or whatever.
Yeah.
Because that what made the HLC so hype. They had a set four.
Set
They had
four.
set four premiere. That was hype,
Mm-hmm.
and like
Oh yeah.
everyone was thinking they were going to do a premiere like Kansas City for set five. Like there was people were like, "Ooh boy, that would be a real good time to do like a super cool event," like
Right.
to get people to come out.
Yeah. I like I said, I think it'd be cool if they end up doing that. I think it'd be
Hmm.
pretty awesome because then, like it's your point, like people would just be hyped. And then even further, like if you end up scrubbing out of the tournament, or
Yeah,
let's say if you don't get if you went for your qualifier and you just don't get it, right, which seems unlikely, but let's just
yeah,
say that does happen, then it gives you this
hmm
really cool event that you get to play in.
hmm
And like it would, I'm sure it would leave a bad taste in some people's mouth who are playing, competitively trying to like win the whole thing,
yeah,
and they're like, I had to play in this thing instead, and then I didn't win, and I missed out on set six. That sucks. But
yeah,
like I don't know, you
yeah.
can get those sweet promos. So
Hmm
we'll
hmm
see.
Yeah,
But yeah, man,
crazy,
yeah,
crazy, crazy, crazy.
set six. I mean, it's
So
coming,
and
man.
and then we got. Oh yeah, I don't know. Do you want to talk about the card reveals today, or do you not want to do that? You just want.
We
And then we
can.
got four of them. We can talk about a few. We can talk
Yeah,
about
we
them if you
can.
want to. I don't
I
know how much more time we got left. So,
we
you
got
know,
a few minutes left on the clock. We can probably
sweet.
run through it. I don't have them already up because I
Yeah.
just saw them earlier. Let's
I mean, I
see.
could send them to you.
That's cool. I got them.
I
Uh,
sent them in the teacher's workroom.
here we go. All right.
Oh yeah.
So let me see if I can get them up on the screen for everybody.
Like the art's really nice. I mean, like say what you want about the card template, but like they look kind of nice. Like they
Yeah,
look nice.
there we go.
I
That's
am
better.
I enjoy the template. It looks like the symbols are a little bigger than what the other cards are, but I don't know. Maybe it's just digitally we see it and it's a little different.
Yeah,
So
so I apologize for any of our viewers that are watching the
yeah,
podcast. My cropping for the web page is not great, and it won't let me scroll down.
it's
So I
okay.
can't show
No
you the
worries.
bottom, like eighth of the card or so. So you're missing all the symbols, but I can talk through them real quick. So you have
Yeah.
incredible display. It's a 2/5 foundation plus 3 mid block. It is chaos,
Chaos,
earth, and
Earth, and
life.
Life.
Yeah, I'll
Yep.
get there. Hold on, don't.
Okay. I
All right.
got you. I got you. I'm
Response
here to back you up. I'm here to
response
back you
commit,
up.
discard a momentum, that's cost. After your rival plays a non-character responsibility, cancel it. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Hard
That's
negation.
my hard
Reusable
negation.
hard negation, which
Hell
does not
yeah.
happen often in this game anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That has response commit. After you block with a foundation, add it to your hand. So that's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have the haunting of Hitoshi
So,
Shinso, and
yep.
it's a 5/3 attack, and it's got a +1 mid block, 3 high doing 6, and it
Yep.
has Shinso Echo and Taunt, and it has his symbols, so all order and void,
Yep.
and then it says enhance. This attack gains stun 2. Your rival may flip 2 foundations to cancel this effect. And then enhance, draw 2 cards. Your rival may discard a card to cancel this effect.
Very cool.
Kind of
Very
neat,
cool
yeah.
card. Yeah. Also, to preface this, these are all ultra rares, by the way.
Oh, are they?
They're all ultra rares. Yeah, they let out with a bang,
Oh,
dude. They're all ultras.
I
Yeah,
hadn't
they led
realized
with a
that.
they led with a bang. Usually
Hmm,
they wait to show all the ultra rares, but I'm wondering if these are all back page cards. I'm thinking they're probably all back.
could
Yeah,
be.
they're all back page cards.
Yeah,
They're all in the upper 100s, so yeah, they're
yeah,
back
it's like
page cards.
151, 133.
Yeah.
And yeah, so then you have Pro Hero Rankings. It's a new asset. Um, it's a 1/5 with a +1 mid block. So like the blocks on these things are nuts.
Nuts. Yeah,
It
ultra
says,
rares.
yeah, and it says it's Pro Hero Breaker 1, and it's unique. This has the new
What
infinity symbol on it.
Which is cool because now those keywords mean something at the bottom of your characters. So you'll get
Yeah.
Pro Hero Breaker 1, so you'll get special effects based off of your little tags.
Yeah, which is kind of what we
cool.
were talking about. The idea probably would be
Yep.
right. It makes sense. They've done stuff
Yep.
like that before, like off of height, weight, blood type, that sort of stuff that old character cards
Yeah,
had.
that's
So,
true. Very
so
true.
it's kind of harking back to that kind of design space. But yeah. So then it says a static that says, while this card is in your stage, after you cycle your deck, you may choose up to 5 attacks that were removed due to the cycle and shuffle them into your deck. So a little bit of bad luck protection is kind of what that card's trying to do.
There was a
and-
card in the old game that did that. I
There
forget.
was.
Oh, it was Majijin. Yeah, that's
there
what
was.
it was. It was
Yeah.
Majijin. Yeah.
And
yeah.
then it's enhanced commit, reveal your hand. Your non-throw attack gets +1 damage for each foundation revealed this way, maximum 10. So if you got 10 cards in hand and they're all foundations, what
Oops.
deck are you playing? And
Plain,
also,
yeah.
wow.
Wow. Yep. Yep.
But yeah, so that's the thing. I don't know why that cap's
Hey.
even put on it, right? Like,
Also, I'm running with this. Mirko's in the back corner.
Mm-hmm.
Hard confirm on Mirko. Don't even know if that's real or not, but she's in a card. That's probably means she's in the set. I'm just gonna run with
are
that
you gonna
right
go
now.
ahead and say the edge shots in the set too?
Yeah, because why not? Two of the 3 are in the set. Why not the 4th? You know. So let's go.
All right, maybe get
Let's go.
some paper ninjas.
Paper Ninjas, baby, and Bun Mom. Let's go.
So then you get Eerie Smile, which is an action. It's a 3/5 with a +2 high block. It says response. It's got air.
All and good.
Yeah.
Yep.
The all symbol really needs to be red. I don't know.
I know it's very weird that it's like a white and black gear. It just needs to be red. Just
Yeah,
make it red
just
and we're fine.
Red and black is good. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, then I guess it mixes too close to evil, maybe. But anyway.
Yeah, very true.
It says response flip 1 foundation, so that's the cost. After you block with this card, your rival must play a non-attack card as their next form or pass. So this card is the inverse of a set 1 card, like set 1 from the original game, called You Will Not Escape. That made it so after they played a non-attack card, they had to play an attack. So this is the inverse of that, where you block with this, and then they have to play something that's not an attack.
Man, that's like learning the standards as a hand trap. That's really cool. And you don't have to take damage with it either. That's
Right.
even cooler.
And it shares no symbols with that card, so
Yeah, very true.
well done
very true.
design.
I do like that it is like something like this on the good symbol, because the good symbol, I'll take it.
Needs a
you
little
know?
more, right?
Always needs more. Always
and
needs
then it
more.
has enhance remove. Add 1 foundation from your stage to the top of your deck, which is also kind of interesting. There's some
That's
cool
cool.
stuff you could do there. Set up a 6 check. You could stack a foundation like the what is it? It's not heroic inspiration or whatever. Maybe it is heroic inspiration. The one that when you check it, you get to buff stats or whatever. So maybe you built one earlier.
That's public support.
No, public
right?
support does it also, but like it's
Yeah.
the one with Bakugo.
Oh
and,
yeah,
and
yeah,
All
yeah,
Might
yeah,
sort of
yeah,
thumbs up.
yeah, yeah,
You can put it
yeah.
on there and
You
can
check it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Add to your card pool
Yeah,
to draw a
heroic
card.
inspiration.
Yeah.
Yep.
You could do that.
Heroic inspiration. Yeah. That's neat.
So there's some cool things you can do there. So not a dead ability, but you're going to be playing this for the top ability 100% of the time.
Oh, this will be I'm gonna say it now. This is going to be in all 3 symbol sideboards, no matter what. Because also, shares, capture evildoers is still a thing. So it's like you may end up finding people splitting 2 and 2.
Sure.
The other sets are in the side. It seems like one of those cards where
This
if you're playing this card's that good.
this punishes aggro pretty hard. Like
Yes, it does.
and it's a
Yep.
high block, which spoilers like the good decks you're referring to, they play a lot of high attacks normally, more mids a lot of times, but,
Yeah.
but some highs as
Yeah.
well. And it's a +2 high block. Like that's a very playable block. So
Like this hoses echo cards that are high, right?
Yeah.
This hoses echo cards, period.
and
like
Rappa just in general as a character.
yeah, like you can, because it's after you block. So you could do this and then they can't echo after it, because
Right.
echoes after the card after it resolves. So you can prevent people from echoing you with this card, because you're like, well, you got to play a non-attack card as your next form. Sorry, bud, you don't get to echo.
Right.
So
They're like, I'm gonna play my Dark Shadow
Bullet Punch
Ruin,
it.
and you're like,
Ruin.
I'm gonna block your Dark Shadow Ruin. Also, I'm gonna ruin your turn.
yeah.
Play that foundation. Go.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So,
Waste that +3 to check. It was the same kind of mentality I
mhm.
had when I played K2 back at Nats last year. I would just eat whatever attack, commit, and make them waste their +3 to check on a foundation.
Yeah,
It was just like, well, your turn's over. Thank
right.
you.
Good luck.
Come come again.
Yeah,
So
but yeah, I mean, like, I didn't realize
very
this for
cool.
ultra rares.
Yep.
You know, and to your point, it's going to take getting some cards in hand and actually getting to explore them. But like,
Yeah.
I do like the coloring behind the text box, the kind of fade.
Oh
I
yeah, the what do they call it? Color
It's
gradation or whatever.
gradated. Yeah, it's gradated.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I like that. I do kind of wish, and we were talking about this in Discord earlier, that they just made the border of the cards the color of the cards. So like, if assets just had a green
Yeah.
border instead of this white border that all these cards have, like, I
Yeah, I'm
know,
wondering.
I
The
know they
white
talk
border's
about
kind
how
of cool. I
it's
think the
not.
white border's kind. I mean,
They
I do. I like it. So I think the white border's kind of neat.
um,
So
I'm
that's just
jaded
me.
because the Magic cards that had white borders are just like the most doo doo
Trash.
cards of doo doo.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
trash. Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
that being said,
It
like I do
reminds me
think
of
if
the
you
old white and black Templars and the white and black
right,
and the white and black Revokes. That's what it reminds me of. So
hmm
that's why I like it because those cards
yeah.
are hype.
So I do think it would be cool if that were like had been done. I'm not saying they should change it at this point
Mm,
because now you just gotta lean into what
yeah.
you've done and kind of stick with it for a few
Yeah.
sets. But like
Exactly.
if they had done that, and I'm sure they explored that, and maybe it just caused too much friction. But like also I know they're based off of rarity, they're doing less border or no border. So like
Oh,
if that was the
yeah.
only primary method of identifying them,
Oh,
that would be a
that's right.
problem.
That's
Um,
right. Ultra rare. I think the lower the rarity, the higher the color goes up. Because if you look at feather, I believe it's a common, and its text box is
it's
completely
So
orange.
what they said in the article was basically like how
Yeah.
transparent the box is directly
Yeah.
correlated to the rarity of it. So like the
Yeah.
XR version will have less
No
than the
text, no
normal version,
color.
yeah. But
Yeah.
then the
Yeah.
ultra rares have less text box than say
A
rares, and
con-
rares,
yeah.
or sorry,
Yeah.
yeah, and then rares have less
Yep.
than an uncommon, and uncommons have less than a
Yeah.
common because
It
yeah,
as it scales up, the text box color
it's just
scales down. So
right.
yeah.
Which I I don't hate that idea, but again, it's all about the implementation and all the other sort of stuff. So we'll
Mhm.
just see. I mean, like I'm really trying hard not to definitively resolve myself to I don't like it. My gut is there's a lot of things I don't like about it, but at the same time, like I got my Bakugo promo and the art's really good and it looks cool and I know it's a character card. Um,
Yep.
so yeah, we'll see how it
I
goes, man.
think I think I think char- I think characters and attacks will be easier for people to get used to than actions and foundations and assets because
Right.
the characters and attacks have hand size, speed and damage,
They
stuff
have
like
other
that.
visual indicators that they're a
Other
different card
visual
type.
indicators
Yeah.
of the different cards. But like an action and a foundation and an asset, like you can honestly, what if you're like, colorblind? Because
Right.
you may not see a blue or a green,
Right. Well, and like to
you
me,
know,
it's again you move so much of the I would argue relevant information like the card type
to the bottom.
and the
Yeah.
symbols down to the bottom outside of the card. Like it's literally in the border and like in the information you've been training your brain to not look at for years
Yeah.
because you like who cares about who the artist was most of the time, right? Like I'm not saying that in that way I don't
Yeah.
care about the artist, but I'm saying that in that way
Yeah.
when you're playing a card game, that's the last information you're concerned about. Like what the
Yeah.
set number of the card
Mhm.
is and who drew the
Mhm.
picture and the copyright.
Yeah.
And now that's where you move this relevant information like the symbols when I'm building
I
a
mean,
deck and the type of card that it is.
like I had a conversation on the main Discord today because someone was like, it took me forever to find the Shinso keywords, and I'm like, well, I just look straight to the bottom because that's where I know where they're at now.
Mhm.
And so it's like, I guess it's just training your brain, learning where they're at, and just eventually give it a set or two. Everyone will, and most of the time we just play by the picture anyways, so it doesn't matter,
Yeah, I think the best
You
way I
know?
can describe it is I think the intent was well intended, right?
Yes.
They wanted to
Yes.
modernize it, they wanted to update it. And I think
Hmm.
it's the implementation and the final version that is where people clearly have their own nuance and their own personal preference on where
Yeah.
things would be, right?
Yeah.
And the
Yeah, very
reality
true.
is there is no one right answer. That's art. That's what I've
Yeah.
said the whole time.
Yep.
Just
Yep.
because
Yep.
I may not like
Yep.
it doesn't
I
mean that
agree.
it's actually trash. But there are some things that
Yeah.
I do think from an art standpoint are fundamentally flawed about some of the things here, but
Sure.
it is what
Yeah.
it is. So I'm still excited for set 6. I want to get the cards. I'll just have to deal with the fact that they have different templating, get my deck, and like my brain going crazy. But it's not going to be causing my brain to go crazy, Chris. all these reprinted characters that they also confirmed in those articles.
Oh yes. Oh yes. 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 Yes.
So in the article, it talked about how in the pre-release, you get a guaranteed, like in the little pre-release kit that you can buy, they're doing the same things that they did for set 5, but you get a guaranteed XR, XR character from set 6. And then in the set, in your character slot, right, you can just get random other characters from the entire game. I'm guessing that's clearly probably because they want to put the new keywords on them.
They are alt-arts.
Yeah, they're alt-art versions.
They're alt-art versions. I think it's like 1 in 18 packs. So one per box, technically.
Yeah. Maybe 2.
What it works out to be. Maybe 2, if you get lucky, depending on distribution. Yeah. So, and I assume that's what's going to happen. Like, they're going to have the new keywords on it. You know, like all the 1A kids, except for like Matt said, the first Midoriya, technically he wasn't a student yet. Yeah. He wasn't in the school. So flavor-wise, this is all flavor. Which is
just flavor.
I love flavor. Anything to make the game feel like you're actually playing the character, it super flavor, so super cool. So
but like maybe you'll get a new Midnight that actually has Pro Hero on it, right? And
Pro Hero on it,
because they already showed that Eraserhead has it. The new promo for Nats has it. We'll probably get an All Might that has those keywords on it as well. Maybe All Might 1, 2, 3, 4, like all of them basically.
Oh baby, give me that alt-art All Might 3, baby. Right? Oh yes,
so, I think that's going to be really exciting, and I hope that they don't actually show you any of those. So like when the set comes out, we have all this extra hype, you know. Oh, you don't want to see. What's it look like? You know.
Oh my gosh, like I definitely don't want to see any of the alt-art characters. I don't want it spoiled by a shop that opened their stuff early, because it always happens. Right. Everybody knows this happens, you know. So. I'm really hyped. I'm hoping everyone's favorites got reprinted. Yeah. I mean, maybe not, but I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna take a good guess. K2, probably Midnight, probably All Might. One of the All Might.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's every character, man. Because think about if they're adding these new keywords, like. It's a way you can if you reprint that character, you can give them a little bit of new support, new interactions without actually having to redesign cards for them, like a set kind of thing.
True.
So
very true.
I think that seems like a safe assumption, but maybe I'm totally wrong. Maybe it is like you're saying. This set we're doing these characters from set 1, maybe then set 7, maybe in set 7 they do set 2 characters or something. I don't know. We'll see. Man. Well, I hate to end a good thing, but I think it's about that time.
Yeah, it's about that time, my friend. I get it. So awesome.
Hey, guys, thanks for listening. Thanks for joining us again. Like I said, we're trying to get more regular. So be on the lookout for the next episode.
Metamucil.
Yeah.
Taking our Metamucil.
Make sure to do all the algorithm things.
Subscribe,
comment down below.
Yes, please. And let us know what you're hype about set 6.
Yeah.
Because by the time this comes out, probably more things have been revealed.
And tell us all the things that we forgot, you know?
UBS Games. Can we have a review, please? Thank you.
Yeah, we're totally down. But
we'll
see what happens, right? So, man, it's good talking to you as always. And guys, have fun, play some games, and we'll catch you later.
See you guys later. Bye.